Welcome to another test and teardown video. I don't think I can test this one really, but this one is a Stornophone 37. The type number is CQM33C-7. What this is an 11 kilo heavy monster walkie-talkie for the 80-meter band. So this is the mobile part of a radio telephone system. You would probably just call this a walkie-talkie. So you call a base station and then they will be able to connect you to the normal phone line, and then you can actually drive your car and talk with somebody that's just connected on their regular phone. So this is how mobile phones in cars was started. They are very, very big. Look at this big monster. I think this is from the 60s. Let's try and see if we can open this. Oh, it is just open like this, and then I can't even lift this with one hand, so hang on a second, I need to pull it out. This is how the system would look like from the sales brochure. I found this on the internet, so there's of course an antenna, a control unit where you select the channels and volume and stuff, and there's a microphone and a speaker, and then there is this unit you mount in your car. So that's actually it. And it consists of all the hardware and all the detailed explain about how everything works. Also that it can run from 6 volts or 12 volts. And I will show you guys here it is. That was the schematic. I think I found a better schematic at the end of this. Let me have a look. Where the hell was that? Wow. They even explain how to solder the wires and antenna cables and how to mount this in your car, and don't you just love this? Oh, here we go. Put this main unit in the back of your car. Anyway, this is the control unit that selects all the different channels. See? Channels and volume and oh, they called it the shaver because it looks like a shaver. So this is how you control all the different relays with switches and different relay or channel plug-in modules. Yeah, here we go. So this is the schematic, and what I saw is here. It explains 6 volts or 12 volts input, what pins to connect for this and that, and this is the vibrator and the transformator and the rectifiers and all that. So I was just able to power this up without even knowing how to do it by just following the wires. It is not that complicated, but anyway, it's always fun to look at the good old schematics and see how stuff is done. Oh yeah, by the way, all the filaments, they of course don't go via the vibrator, but it goes via the pins here and the relay to connect the center, to connect the filaments in either parallel or series for 12 or 6 volts operation. It's actually quite smart the way it's done. So there's no transformators to handle that. So I think this is for the standby operation, so this will be all the transmit tubes. So you can of course have it in receive mode or in transmit ready mode. So that's quite smart to save a lot of power. Whew, there is a hefty smell in this one. See some handwriting here. What exactly is that? I'm not able to. Probably it's just CQM33C-7. This is what is written on the front. It's a really beautiful metal frame. No PCBs. Everything is hand soldered. Isn't that just nice? And of course this is completely tube based. Wow. And all the crystals are taken out. So that will be the different channels. And on the control panel you would probably connect to a calling channel and listen, is this free? Okay, the calling channel is free, and then you will hit a transmit button and then say, yeah, I want to talk to somebody. And then, yeah, okay, cool, who you want to talk to, and I want to talk to my mom, and blah, 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 blah. And then they call and say, hey, you need to go to channel this and that. And then you go here, and then you talk to those guys, and when you're done, you just hang up. So you can have like 10 different callers driving around in their cars in the same area and talking to 10 different people. So that is kind of the analog prehistoric way of cell phones. Isn't that just nice? Big nasty power supply. And if this is what I think it is, yes it is. Yes it is indeed. See, this is a vibrator. This is a very, very special product. So when you power this with 12 volts DC, because you got only DC voltage in a car, right? And you want to make high voltage and filament voltages and all sorts of grid voltages and whatnot. So you want to step up the voltage from 12 volts. So this vibrator is actually a push-pull switch mode transformator, or you know, the oscillator and the primary drive circuit is just running at a fixed frequency, push pull on the 12 volts, and this goes to this transformator that will step up from really big thick input wires, high current, and then on the output you get all the voltages needed to drive all those radio tubes. So that is how it works. And this vibrator is absolutely fantastic. I just scored another one exactly the same model. So I'm going to find them and show you guys what is inside. And probably we're going to power this up. This one is a 12 volt. I think it's a 6 to 12. The other one I got is only 6 volt, I guess. I will get back to the vibrator stuff in a minute or 10. So this is the bottom side with all the components, all the small components mounted. Ooh, we see some, what is that? Some corrosion or some stuff. Oh, this is completely, we got some of the acids and stuff is on there way out. Oh, we got some high frequency filtering and oscillation going on here in this tube, definitely mixing, oscillating things. The antenna here. Oh, so this is the transmit receive relay. Oh, of course it is. Don't you see that? So this is probably the transmitter and this is the receiver, right? And it goes here. And then there's a... Oh, look at that. Let's have a look. 10 seconds. So this is the vibrator part I talked about. So because of this is a push-pull system with contacts. Of course you want to keep all the noises and stuff in this little shielded cabinet. They're using feed-through capacitors for DC voltage input, and that will be the switched primary side of the transformator. So they got all this in a nicely shielded case, so that is really nice. So look at this. This got to be the transmitter, the driver, and the output stage of the power stage. And I can see this because of the thickness of the inductors. And this is the output, and it goes through a little filter, and then this is the output in the transmit mode. So, and this is the receive mode, is here. So the receiver goes here, and it's probably pre-amplifier here, or maybe there's even a input, mixed input. Yeah, look at that. Probably got some injection going on here. Yeah, see? Injection oscillator. Oh yeah, this is the area of all the crystals, right? So crystal oscillator and injection driving, and then it goes in here. Yeah, absolutely nice. So this is the IF stage. But that's basically what it is. The big and heavy walkie-talkie. What is that? So this is the DC input. Probably some, I don't know exactly what that is yet. Well, that is a little bit interesting. Lots of relays and a rectifier. Of course you need rectifiers after the AC side of the secondary side of the transformator, so you get high voltage. So you rectify this and you got DC for all your high voltage tubes. That one looking a little bit very closely mounted, all those resistors to all the capacitors. It is actually very compact with all the tubes, sockets and all that here. Can you imagine mass producing hundreds of these? Or maybe they didn't plan to sell that many, but I think they were really popular. I've seen these quite a few times before. Ooh, this one's also broken. Oh, this one is it cracked? No. Yeah, but from this we're actually able to find the pin configurations for the vibrator. I actually really don't like the name vibrator, because if you kind of Google this, you're gonna get something a little bit different than this, so please don't do that. So I took off all the shields, 15 tubes and 4 relays. Oops. This one was supposed to be in a socket, but it's not. They're supposed to be in a socket so you can change them, right? So here is, well, I don't understand exactly what that is doing, because this is connected to the secondary system. So maybe you can be in a standby or like in an operation mode to try and cool down a lot of stuff. You only need the receiver to be working when you're in standby mode, right? And so somebody can call you, or you can listen if there's an available channel, and then you can of course power up the transmitter and be in operation state. This is the on-off relay that is directly connected between the vibrator and the transformator. And this will be the transmitter power amplifier tube. And according to the specifications, this thing should be able to give about 12 watts. QQE03. 12 watts power pentode, right? This is probably the driver. Oh, ECC81. ECL80. Just standard tubes. I don't see anything really fancy-pantsy here. No, not a lot. Just easy to repair. Oh, you also got relays here. Look at that. Tiny little relays to select all the different crystals. Of course, they're tiny little relays, because this will be a high frequency and you don't want big and nasty relays. But if I look at these holes here, I think this is more standard for, see, this type of relay is exactly what fits. So this was the original design, this type of relay, but this is a modified or upgraded version with smaller relays. Of course, I was very easily able to figure this out. See? Oh, everything here is totally dodgy and cracked anyway. See, this is the positive input in a white wire anyway, but it goes both to the oscillator but also to the transformator center point. And then minus input goes to the oscillator. So the oscillator is running, and then there's minus power input for the contact sets of the transformator. So let's try and see what happens. See, if I write this down on the vibrator. So now the circuit is running. Most definitely. It works. So this oscillator only uses 200 milliamps. Yeah, and now we could power this up and get voltage. Well, let's see what happens. So I'm just starting this up slowly, only 6 volts, just to see what happens, and just be really nice and careful. Are we getting any filaments? I don't know. Damn it, I'm so sorry this shit happened when I was not recording. I paralleled everything here just to see if I could run this thing. Of course I was able to blow some shit up. Oh my gosh, this is using like 4 times 30 watts. Man. Something is bad smelling and something went really hot here. So I'm sorry, but this will be the end. Where the hell? I'm a little bit afraid of touching anything. Can you hear it? Where the hell is it? Just something. Well, let's look a little bit on the main transformator. It's even called Vibrato Transformator, and see, it can be connected for 606 push-pull 6 volts. I guess this is 110 hertz they want to say here, right? And see, we got some other pins for 12012, and then we got all the different outputs. I don't know if we can show you guys this, but it can make what, 45 volts, 30 milliamps, and what is this, 130 volts, and I don't know what we got here. But yeah, that is definitely the vibrator transformator, and this is the audio output transformator for the loudspeaker. And here's a filter choke for the high voltage and the high voltage capacitor. And now I don't dare to touch anything here because I just booted this up, and now all the doors and windows are open. So I can breathe a little bit again, and that is nice.